Video, we're going to be looking at how to construct a pivot table. A pivot table is a customized table that allows you to perform many functions. For example, a pivot table helps you to transform the rows into columns into rows. It helps you to perform some basic calculations. It helps you to sort and do other things. So we are just going to use the data before us to construct a pivot table. So the very first thing is you have to highlight your data. When you highlight your data, you go to Insert tab and you see pivot table. I'm going to click pivot table. Now in this pivot table, you can still highlight the range from here if at all you did not highlight before. You can use an external data. Probably you don't have a data in this sheet. You can choose an external data for the table, but now I have my data. Also, you can use this workbook as your data model. Okay, you can now construct the pivot table in the same sheet, or you can construct it in a different sheet. Okay, so I just selected this. That's why this information is coming. So I want it in a new sheet. That is why I will not select the existing sheet, because if I'm selecting existing sheet, it simply means I have to select part of the sheet where I want my pivot table to be there. But I want it to go in a new sheet, so I'm not going to select that option. I'm going to select this. Okay, and I click OK. Now my data source was not well outlined because I changed it, so I click it back, then I take OK. So my pivot table will be constructed. Now this is the pivot table. What can we do with the pivot table? As I said, we can transform the rows to columns, the columns to rows. And how can we do that? We just, for example, take the students, and we can put it at the level of rows. If it was columns, okay, we can still take it and put it at the level of columns. You see that there, the student that were at the level of rows go as columns. Okay, and we can take the total, which was at the level of column, and put under rows. Okay, so that is how we can transform our data in a pivot table into rows and columns and interchange them. So I'm just going to arrange it in order. Okay, so I'm going to take, okay, I put the value column under the value column. I'm going to take my value columns and put now. Take for example, I never wanted to put all the data in a table. I wanted a different table showing a customized data which I just need for my specific action. I can use the pivot table and I put only the data which I want. And for example, if I want to construct the pivot table containing only the students, their country, and their maths and literature, so what will I do? I will simply just untick the others, and I'll just take country and add it. I'll just put there. Or if I put at the level of rows, okay, then I'll just take the maths, I'll put at the level of values. I'll take the literature and put at the level of values, which simply means I have a table containing my students and their different marks that they obtain. Now let me remove that for country so that it can be easily cleared. If I want only literature, I can just untick math, okay, and I can have my table containing only my students and their literature mark. And what do you notice about the pivot table? The pivot table don't just give you a particular set of value. Okay, the pivot table carries out what we call sum if function, meaning if at all you had about 5 farine in the data, now the pivot table will give you 1 farine, but will sum all the data of farine. Okay, that is only if it fulfills the criteria given by the data, because in this data we had 2 criteria, that is the names of the students and the country. If farine fulfilled and have the same name and the country, the pivot table is going to sum all the value and give you just one value for Farin, irrespective of how many times Farin appears in the data. Okay, so we can carry out different functions with the pivot table, not only sum, if. Okay, we can sort our data, we can filter our data. Let's say we never wanted these other people, we can filter the data. So that can be done by a pivot table. Going to restore the data. We can also come to active field and we can change information. Let's say, for example, we don't want sum. We can go to value field setting and select maybe average or count, okay, and use. So you see that the table will calculate automatically the average of the students. Okay, let's say we want to calculate percentage. Okay, we can easily go to percentage, show us percentage of the grand total. So each of these values will be calculated as percentage of the grand total, and gives you the proportion that each of them cover on the total mark. Okay, because we had but average, that is why. Now we can also, let's send it back to value. We can also perform other functions of a pivot table. As I said, we have filtering, we have sorting. We can give the name of the pivot table. We can assign a name here. Okay, we can also insert a slicer to control our pivot table. For example, I want to insert a slicer for the literature value. Okay, literature, because we have literature. Then I take OK, and the slicer comes. So if you filter, you see automatically the values with 45 will be filtered. The values with 50 will be appearing, because that is what we want. So if you want to see more than one value, for example, I want to see those who have 80, 45 and 65. So I'll click 80 and I'll hold my control down, and I'll click 45 and I'll click 65, and I'll see all the three. So when clicking the first, you hold your control down, you click the next, and hold your control down and you click the next. Now this pivot table, it depends on what you really want or what data you want. So you can add whichever one you want, and then the pivot table. Now the ones that you want to filter also, you can just carry and put add a filtering up box where you have this filtering tool here, and you can filter the one that you want. Okay, so I'm going to cancel the filtering. Now put select all the informations to appear. If I come to my design, you can see we can put subtotal. We don't want subtotal, we want the subtotal. Okay, we can add grand total. Grand total is already there. We can put grand total off for the column. We can put grand total for the column. We can set grand total for the rows only. There's no grand total, that is why it's not appearing. Okay, we can arrange the report. Okay, we can ban the rows, ban the columns. We can take good styles, pivot table styles. Okay, we can take good pivot table styles. Okay, and let's say we want to prepare a pivot chart. Okay, we can prepare a pivot chart directly. Probably want to prepare a pivot chart for this data. So what do? I'll just highlight it, and I'll come to my analyze, and I'll see my chart, and then I'll click on it, and I have the information in my specific chart which I want. So this is called a pivot chart. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe, like, and please comment if you have any question or any contribution. We are ready to acknowledge. Thank you very much.